Right, start. जरा पिक्चर लेना था। हाँ पिक्चर लेना था। जाओ 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 मेरे में जाओ जाओ जी। Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Jain was the quality control. उसका वो भी नहीं लिखा हेडफोन्स। हेलो, ज़रा मैं बिजी रहता हूँ, फ़ोन में उठाता हूँ, फ़ोन में करना, ठीक है। हेलो, ज़रा मैं बिजी रहता हूँ, फ़ोन नको कर ज़रा, ठीक है ना। क्यों वो लोग बात नहीं कर सकते, मीटिंग में उन्होंने। ओके ना, फ्री हो तो मैं फ़ोन करूँगा, ठीक है। बाय। सेंटर में रहना है सर, ये रो में रहना पड़ना सर में। ऑटोमेटिक लग गया जो बाद में इंसल्ट हो जाता है। अली भाई देखो,
I'm Dr. Jain, faculty at IIT Hyderabad, and it's my absolute honor to welcome you to this Indo-US collaborative workshop on harnessing AI for healthcare transformation 2024. Today, we embark on a journey to celebrate innovation, collaboration, and leadership in technology and healthcare. We now invite our esteemed dignitaries, Honorable Ms. Jennifer Larson, U.S. Consul General, Hyderabad, Professor S.S. Aiyar, Florida International University, USA, Professor Ramesh Jain, University of California, Irvine, USA, Dr. Ram D. Sriram, Senior Computer Scientist at the National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, and Dr. Sanjay, Damani, Founder and CEO, Kite Health, onto the dais, please. Please give them a big round of applause.
अली भाई
Over the course of the 3-day journey, we will witness inspiring address and insightful discussion from leaders who continue to shape the future of healthcare and technology. Without further ado, let us commence this memorable event. I now invite Professor C. Krishna Mohan to share his vision of AI for healthcare transformation, and Professor Mohan has been a pillar of supporting organizing this event. I request Professor Mohan to kindly deliver his welcome address.
Good morning, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues and friends. It is with immense pride and profound gratitude that I welcome you all to this HAHT-IUS 2024 workshop, Harnessing AI for Healthcare Transformation. Today, we gather at the confluence of two great nations united by the shared vision to leverage the transformative power of artificial intelligence to revolutionize global healthcare. It is my distinct honor to extend a warm and gracious welcome to our distinguished chief guest, Ms. Jennifer Larson, US Consulate General, Hyderabad. Madam, your esteemed presence elevates this occasion and we are deeply privileged to have you with us today. Thank you. And it is a privilege to extend a warm welcome to distinguished speakers and leaders, Professor S.S. Aiyar, Professor Ramesh Jain, Professor B.S. Murthy, Professor Dr. Ram, and Professor Ramesh Jain, and then Dr. Sanjay Damani. Their remarkable contributions to science, healthcare, and technology stand as a testament to innovation and serve as an enduring source of inspiration. As we embark on this 3-day journey, let us reflect on the remarkable era we are privileged to witness. The 21st century is undeniably the age of digital transformation, where artificial intelligence is not merely a tool, but a catalyst reshaping the very fabric of healthcare delivery. From precision medicine to personalized diagnosis, AI offers unprecedented opportunities to improve the quality, accessibility, and efficiency of medical healthcare. Today, the collaborative spirit that binds India and United States, two nations whose synergy in research and development continues to set a new benchmark in technological advancements. This workshop is more than a gathering of minds, and it is testament to our shared belief that science and innovation hold the key to addressing the digital most pressing challenges of our time. Let us build bridges across the disciplines, institutions, and continents, and let us ensure that the outcomes of our efforts to extending this beyond academic papers, such as to touch and transform the lives of the people across the globe. As we progress through the workshop, we are honored to feature distinguished speakers delivering AI in healthcare research in Indian academia from premier institutions including IIT Madras, IIT Delhi, IIT Bombay, IIT Kanpur, IIT Kharagpur, IISc, IIT Hyderabad, and IIT Hyderabad. We are also joined by industry experts from Google Research, Microsoft Research, Research Innovation India, alongside US industry panel featuring representatives from Guide Health and GE Healthcare. Furthermore, a US government panel discussion will include experts from National Science Foundation, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, and Advanced Research Projects Agency for Health. The program also includes sessions on AI applications in Indian hospitals, featuring speakers from AIG hospitals, Kaveri hospitals, PMX Health, and Apollo hospitals. Additionally, we are honored to have distinguished professors from esteemed US universities such as Harvard and the University of Michigan, Emory University, and the University of Southern California, the University of California Irvine, and Florida International University delivering special sessions. In conclusion, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all of you, our speakers, panelists, and organizers, and participants for making this event a reality. Together, we have the opportunity to shape a future where AI-driven healthcare is not a privilege, but universal reality. Thank you. And let us embark on this journey together with a shared sense of purpose, unwavering passion, and resolute commitment. I extend my heartfelt welcome to each of you as we unite to shape a future driven by innovation and collaboration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Mohan, for your words and setting the tone for today's proceedings. We'll now proceed with the ceremonial lighting of the lamp, symbolizing the illumination of knowledge and wisdom. I request all our dignitaries to kindly grace the lamp ceremony.
One slap. Let's go with that. Okay.
His diplomatic career, having served as Director for South Asian Affairs, Deputy Principal Officer in Mumbai, and Acting Deputy Chief of Mission in Libya. Her experience spans assignment in France, Sudan, Jerusalem, and Lebanon, making her a leader with profound global expertise. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please join me in welcoming Ms. Larson to deliver the keynote address.
So good morning. Thanks to IIT Hyderabad here for hosting this, and we're really, the team and I are extremely excited to be here, part of the collaborative Indo-US workshop on harnessing AI for healthcare transformation. I'm also really delighted that a number of professionals from the United States have taken the time to come here. Some for just 48 hours, some for a few more days. So welcome to Hyderabad. The US and India have long been partners in the world of technology, and I think we all know that. In fact, this is actually the first time I've lit many lamps, and I've been here for 2 years, but this is the first time I actually didn't have to use a match. So I really appreciate the technology in that. It makes it a lot easier. Prime Minister, whoops. So Prime Minister Modi said when he was in the United States last summer that the acronym AI means America and India. And we see this partnership ourselves. Thank you. We see this partnership ourselves contributing to a cycle of innovation and growth right here in Hyderabad, to include esteemed universities and campuses like this one. In 2023, last year, India's IT exports were more than $320 billion. More than half of them went to the United States. A large portion of that were AI-driven services. Hyderabad alone contributed close to $40 billion in IT exports, which is about 30% more than the previous year. So the US, on the other hand, continues to lead in AI research and development, pouring more than $100 billion annually into this field. So together, our two nations contribute to nearly 1/3 of the world's AI research, and joint AI patent filings between us have more than doubled in the past 5 years. So, not being an expert, but just kind of musing on the future, US and India collaboration in fostering AI-driven solutions could help bring advanced healthcare technologies to scale, offering affordable and high-impact solutions to both of our countries' healthcare challenges. This can bring a true breakthrough, allowing systems as being nearly reactive, and start proactively anticipating needs in healthcare. Both of our countries have collaborated together previously in critical areas such as disease control and surveillance, enhancement of public health capacities. In recent years, this collaboration has intensified, especially in the field of biotechnology. And again, I have to say that the research here really is a product of US-India collaboration and innovation at the highest levels through university, through academia, and through nonprofit and government. So our joint efforts now are focusing on using AI for matching patients with treatments, applying nanotechnology for targeted drug delivery, and improving bioinformatic tools for comprehensive data analysis. So given the complexity of such initiatives will be crucial to accelerate outcomes. The ongoing US-India partnership could advance research significantly in those areas by fostering swift progress in biotechnology and healthcare, particularly in rapid drug discovery. Innovations resulting from our bilateral partnership could shape the future of global health. And AI will play a very important role in streamlining the rapid drug discovery process and accelerating overall drug development processes. And that too is a very exciting space to be in, especially here in Hyderabad, where about 30% of all of the generics in the United States are coming. So our two countries recognize the promise of cooperative research in science and innovation, and as a result have formed a research partnership between the US National Science Foundation and the Indian Department of Biotechnology. This partnership establishes the groundwork for collaboration to expedite innovations in biotechnology and biomanufacturing, empowering biotechnology industries. The US-India Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technology, which we call IIT, forms a solid foundation in fostering collaboration in transformative fields like AI and quantum technologies. India stands to benefit significantly from technological innovations in the US, which in turn can access lucrative and more affordable market opportunities which are offered here in India. Open source knowledge alongside robust IP frameworks can ensure that both countries benefit by accelerating innovation. So as our two nations continue to put our resources together and share a vision for progress, we can have a lasting positive imprint in the world in advancing AI in individuals speaking to you about the possibilities of AI healthcare and collaboration between India and the United States, some of whom are on the stage right now. So I thank you again for allowing me to share my very amateur thoughts about this at the beginning of this gathering, and I wish you success in the coming 3 days as you deliberate and discuss together on potentials in this field. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Larson, for your promising words and inspiring both the nations to foster global collaboration in healthcare and technology. It's my pleasure to introduce our next guest of honor, Padma Bhushan Dr. D. Nageshwar Reddy, Chairman of the Asian Institute of Gastroenterology and IIT Hospitals, Hyderabad, which is the biggest gastroenterology hospital in the world. He is a distinguished leader and past president of the World Endoscopy Organization. He received the B.C. Roy Award from the Indian Medical Council in the year 1995 and the Padma Shri Award in the year 2002 and the Padma Bhushan Award in 2016 from the Government of India, and he is also recipient of the numerous honors and fellowship from the prestigious societies. Please join me in welcoming the visionary and the trailblazer Padma Bhushan Dr. D. Nageshwar Reddy to deliver his special address in an online mode. Dr. Reddy, are we audible to you? You are on mute, Dr. Reddy. We can't hear you, Dr. Reddy. You are on mute.
Hello, I hope you can hear me. Thank you. I'm sorry there was a little miscommunication in our connection, so that's the reason why I'm coming a little late. I am Nageshwar Reddy. I'm the chairperson and gastroenterologist at the IIT hospitals. First of all, I'd like to apologize for not being there physically. I actually started to be there, but we had a medical emergency. One of the top politicians in our country had a major issue, so I had to stay back to operate on that, and it took some time. That's the reason why I couldn't be physically there. I'm extremely sorry for this. But to begin with, I'd like to congratulate the IIT Hyderabad, especially Professor Krishna for putting up this very, very innovative and interesting program. In fact, AI in healthcare is becoming a very important subject now, and there have been various programs throughout our country. But I find this particular program has been done very well, very good, very well innovated. And we should also congratulate Ram, whose enthusiasm actually resulted in this program. Over several weeks now, Ram and Krishna have been coming together to create a program ways patient safety can be now controlled by using AI techniques and technologies. And similarly, we have done several other initiatives. Just to brief you very briefly about that, just to give you an idea how AI is being used, because AIT is probably the first hospital in the country which has a full-fledged artificial intelligence department with about 100 engineers working in this department. So first of all, we have created what is called Mishra, a robotic system here, which Dr. G.B. Rao will talk to you about tomorrow. With this system, what we have found is that we have to spend much less time answering unnecessary questions, because patients come with a lot of anxiety, ask a lot of questions. So we have dedicated all this to Mishra. Mishra is very patient. She is a medical chatbot who will stay and answer every question. Mishra also fed a lot of medical information. So sometimes when doctors will get stuck with a problem, we ask Mishra, what should we do here? And we get very good output from Mishra. I think these LLMs are now, along with this chatbot, I think there have been several new technologies that our AI people have been using. So with this, we find that a large extent, many of our issues in dealing with patients' questions, etc., can be very easily answered. I'm sure this will become common in other hospitals also. Similarly, we created what is called the Prism, and this Prism is very useful, recording everything that we talk, and this occurs through an EMR system, electronic medical record, where we type everything onto that. So what is happening is we're spending all our time typing, looking at the computer rather than looking at the patient and talking to him. To overcome this, we created this Prism. Now, Prism is a speech-to-text segmented technology where when we speak to the patient, everything comes as a text in a segmented form, past history, present history, addictions, and so on. And finally, when the conversation is over, we have a printout of what exactly happened in a very segmented form. Again, I think something that G.B. Rao will show you tomorrow. So using this, we find now that we have actually increased our patient contact time and decreased patients going away from this area. Now, the third important thing that we have created is patient safety software, where we now can record all the parameters of the patient, and these parameters now come in, like for example, the temperature, pulse, BP, and all that, so that when the patient touches 5 abnormal parameters, a warning is given immediately to our medical emergency team who goes and attends the patient. And this has resulted in very less so-called calls to our emergency or a cardiac arrest. So therefore, I think these things have clearly demonstrated to us that the usefulness of AI in heart. Also, we are working on more subtle things. Again, this is more for doctors, where we look at images what we see at surgery or an endoscopy, and we can actually sometimes diagnose very early gastric cancers, which we have been missing by naked eye. So I think these are all major advantages that we are already starting to see. One major advantage of AI is you don't require too much of resources initially, just manpower. Although India entered very late into, I think, industrialization, even software, I think in AI we seem to be entering very rapidly now, and I think this is the future. And in that sense, this sort of meetings are going to be very extremely important, so that we can communicate between each other, doctors and engineers and so on, And I think this communication is going to create much better atmosphere for us to innovate more and more. Of course, there are challenges. There are many challenges of using AI in the medical field. One of the challenges is, of course, the legality. Now, who takes the legal issues? For example, if a patient sues us saying that he developed a particular complication, is it because of AI or because of the doctors themselves? So these are some of the issues that have not been completely resolved. And also, I think accountability is another very important thing. Ethical use of AI is another important thing. And most important is regulatory sections. In fact, in India at present, we don't have any regulation for AI in healthcare. And even in advanced countries, I'm sure Ram Sira would agree with me that even in the US, it's very, very tight. So we're still an evolving field, and we have to carefully follow what's happening in other countries so that we get proper regulatory setups put in place. So having said all this, I think it's very important to realize that we as human beings with our human intelligence should use AI properly with the proper intelligence to reap its main benefits. This is extremely important. And I tell our doctors who say that is artificial intelligence going to replace doctors? It is not going to replace human touch, human doctors. But I think doctors who use artificial intelligence are going to replace doctors who do not use artificial intelligence. And therefore, I think attending and interacting in these type of conferences is extremely important. I'd like to congratulate IIT, Professor Krishnamurthy again for this very nice initiative, and Ram Sriram for being the power behind this to create this. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Nageshwar Reddy, for sharing your wisdom, insights, and expertise. Your groundbreaking contribution to healthcare will inspire us all to strive for excellence. Thank you, Dr. Reddy, so much.
So we're not getting the audio from your side, so that's the reason we're not able to interact.
Are we audible, Dr. Reddy? Dr. Reddy, are we audible? Are we audible, Dr. Reddy, now? Our next esteemed chief guest, Professor S.S.
So
Aiyar.
your audio is not, but I hope our audio came through because it's not very clear whether.
Can you hear us now, sir? Dr. Reddy, we can hear
So
you.
I feel that even for this webinars, we now have to start using AI, artificial intelligence, to enhance that.
Our next esteemed chief guest, Professor S.S. Aiyar, a distinguished university professor at Florida International University and the National Forensic Sciences University, India. He was awarded the 2023 Karnataka Rajyottava Award and is a pioneer in intelligence
So maybe
systems.
if the telephone is on.
Machine learning and digital forensics with over 600 publications and multiple patents. His work has advanced research in high-performance computing, data science, and sensor fusion. Please join me in welcoming Professor S.S. Aiyar to deliver his special address.
Thank you. Well, this is a fascinating time for harnessing AI, especially in the context of health applications. So before I say a few words, I'm really honored and privileged to be here at the invitation of our distinguished Professor Krishnamurthy with Dr. Sriram, who is really a pioneer in many areas of computer science. So, and of course, all the distinguished guests, including the Consulate General of India at Hyderabad. So, thank you. So, why is it I'm telling you? With a good story, I'll tell you in a couple of minutes. In 1989, I was searching for a good problem to use AI. AI was not that prominent. And I met a very distinguished faculty at Cornell University by name Professor. I visited John Hopcroft. He's a very pioneer in computer science, especially in theoretical computer science. So I told him that I've got a beautiful expert systems to diagnose cancer-related problems. And he said, Ram, I don't know, AI, what it is going to do because it's not very certain and so on and so forth. And sort of discouraged me, because basically what we were trying to do at that time, jointly with some medical hospitals, use an expert system to diagnose cancer-related problems. Remember, this is in 1990. And, well, of course, things were not that very popular in AI. And so then in 1995, I again met Professor Hopcroft, whom I know very well. And then, of course, he said, Ram, you're doing a wonderful work, you should continue, don't stop on that, because he's a very distinguished faculty, a Turing Award winner. There's a little bit of echo. So, and then we continued, I can use this. So, okay, I think I can everybody hear me at the back. So, very interesting a follow-up story on that. As we get older and learn more about the powerful, thing that we can extract from AI. So there are three important components. Probably I will talk more about in my lecture. Of course, the security aspect of it, the ethical aspect of it, then bias, but this AI techniques that we have been able to sort of look at it in many ways is an example of what Sloan Kettering Memorial Cancer Center in New York, where I'm a part of what Dr. Puneet Aiyar is doing. I mean, wonderful work. So one good example I can tell you is, there are many cancer patients, when they go and try to meet a doctor after going through all the diagnosis, they are really kind of shaken up by what the doctor would say, about the results and the progress or whatever that it is. So they've been able to sort of, we've been able to come up with a very beautiful, what I call as a conversational type AI technique, so that how we can calm the patient very clearly and explicitly and slowly, in a way, by the time he meets the doctor, he will have no problem to listen to what the consequences is. So there are lots of interesting applications, and there is also a little fear. People might say that, the activities that what we normally generally do, maybe in the next 4 or 5 years, AI can take over it. About, Professor Hinton at University of Toronto, who recently got a Nobel Prize, who used to work for Google, he's sort of kind of thinking, that we should be able to sort of control AI. Control in the sense what policies and regulations that you can come up with to ensure that we are able to sort of work with artificial intelligence. So that these are some discussions are going on, and but in any event, I think I can clearly say, in the last 5 decades I spent in computer science, I worked on many vision problems. We have Professor Ramesh Jain here, and we wrote a paper in IIIT PAMI or something like that. But the interesting thing, the impact of what AI has done is very remarkable. And I think down the road I would see AI becomes a core component of everything that we will do. Again, I will be sort of discussing more in my talk. I am extremely grateful to Professor Krishnamohan for inviting me here, and Dr. Sriram, and I think both are really pioneers of what they have done in the area of harnessing artificial intelligence for many health-related problems. Thank you for this opportunity. I'll be talking to you more. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Aiyar, for sharing interesting insights and application about AI. It is now my pleasure to introduce our next guest of honor, Professor Ramesh Jain, Brain Professor at UC Irvine, He is a visionary technologist driving innovation and digital health. With a career spanning 5 decades, he has advanced fields like computer vision, AI, and experiential computing. As a founding director of UCI, Institute for Future Health, and the AI Lab at the University of Michigan, he is revolutionizing healthcare through proactive, data-driven personal health management solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Professor Jain to deliver his special address.
I'm really delighted to be here today, particularly in the company of some of the people who are very experienced in this research area. This topic is, you are going to hear a lot about what AI has done and what AI can do. But in addition to everything else, my excitement for this particular workshop stems from the fact that I very strongly believe that in India we are at a point where we can really bring this transformation to the world. In place of India being the recipient of technology from outside, it is one area where we are ready to really contribute and transform healthcare, not only in India but in the world, by adopting the technology and starting to use this in a very right way. We have all the ingredients here that make us an ideal place to really start applying this technology in a very unique way. The reason for that is India is a very diverse country. India is big, but also the amount of diversity here makes it very ideal to collect lots of data related to the different challenging problems in health and healthcare all over the country. If we can use this data, we can train our algorithms, we can develop the systems that will truly be revolutionary. We can really start this because we need, given our diversity, we need this technology to solve our own problems first, but in the process, we will develop systems that could be adopted all over the world. Right now, healthcare is a serious problem in every country, including the country where I come from, or I have been living for last almost 50 years now, United States. Healthcare is a topic that is discussed in every election, and after every election, we find that healthcare costs are going up and satisfaction with healthcare is going down. Now, this is the problem. It's a very advanced country which has all the advanced technology, but the reason for that is that healthcare is not only a technological problem, it's also a very serious social problem, and because it's a serious social problem, it becomes a political problem too. Now, can we make it such that we can utilize our diversity and solve the problem, and in the process become a transformer for the whole world in healthcare? I am hoping we can start the process here, and that's why I am very delighted to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Jain, for stressing the need of importance of AI and healthcare in a diverse country like ours. I now take this opportunity to invite our next guest of honor, Dr. Sanjay, founder and CEO of Guide Health, which is leading AI-driven health service with over 20 years in healthcare innovation. Dr. Sanjay has previously served as a senior advisor at the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Innovation. A clinical cardiologist, he is recognized for pioneering multidisciplinary home-based care. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Sanjay Damani to deliver his special address.
Sriram, distinguished guests, Honorable Consul General. For me, it's a very big delight to be here. I just realized sitting on the stage that I'm still a practicing physician and a cardiologist in the United States, dealing with all these problems and challenges every day in coordinating care for patients, in making accurate diagnoses, and actually helping uplift some of the most challenging problems we face today for especially seniors and the aging population. I also have the unique privilege and distinction of having studied medical college here in India and taking my learnings and craft to growing in my career over the last 2.5 decades in various roles in both the federal government, in primary care and cardiology, in payer systems, in large integrated delivery systems that integrate both payment reform as well as healthcare delivery challenges. But there's another distinction that I've never even shared with Sriram or Mohan, which is that I have an older daughter who studied at IIT Madras. So that's why it's a very big honor, and when he said that they were having this event. Now, I'm going to give you just 2 minutes of a US perspective, because really I see the India-US partnership as a way of solving major problems. And that's what gets us very excited. In fact, I started Guide Health hardly 1.5 years ago, and when I was about to embark on this journey, I took a flight to Hyderabad, and I went and met Professor Reddy at the IIIT campus, and I had lunch with him. And I said, Raj, I'm going to start this company that's going to focus on using AI to coordinate healthcare for seniors. And he said, what is the scope of the problem? I said, every day, the US adds 10,000 beneficiaries to the Medicare system. Just the Medicare budget alone is just under $1 trillion, and the Medicare and Medicaid budget is well over $1 trillion. And it continues to rise despite some, promise of plateauing. But the truth is that for the highest spend in the OECD nations, we have some of the poorest outcomes. And those outcomes range from maternal health to overall life expectancy, which has been challenged and not fully recovered after the COVID pandemic. And the spend is also disproportionate, where about 17% of patients account for over 60% of all healthcare costs. And if only their care could be better coordinated, there's a possibility for us to bring this down. Now, it has 2 implications. One is competitiveness, because if you spend 1 in every $5 or 20 cents of every dollar on healthcare, then it's like a tax that you're going to have to perpetuate, which you cannot then be competitive against other countries in the labor markets. The other problem is, over the next decade, we will have 100,000 fewer addiction counselors, 150,000 fewer psychologists, 350,000 fewer nurses, over 1 million fewer primary care physicians to address the problems of the aging population of the baby boomers. How are we going to solve this? So I want to take this to a very local, very tiny little microcosm of a problem, and then tell you why I'm so excited for the bright minds in the room to go solve these things. Even for some very large, reputed healthcare systems, think of the Harvards and the Yales and the other large university systems. Their publicly reported scores on quality that are dictated by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid, such as CMS STARS ratings, are extremely low, despite acute care being extremely high in terms of its overall, published reported outcomes. So while they are giants in their local populations delivering on surgeries, their overall care, as measured by these quality scores, is very low. It's very poor. What are we talking about? Completion of mammograms, we just heard Professor Dr. Nageshwar Reddy, colorectal cancer screening, diabetic eye exams, some of the most basic things that are needed to help improve the condition of aging seniors. So we embarked at Guide Health on a very, very small scale on a project that just had 30,000 patients and said, can we find all these open gaps? Normally we would use about 100 employees to go scour all these electronic records and find all these open gaps and pick up the phone and call these patients and start getting them scheduled for a mammogram or a colorectal cancer screening test or a diabetic eye exam. Instead of that, we said, let's try out something that's very low risk. Let's use AI scrubbing agents. Within hours, we found thousands of open gaps. Now we said, let's validate that these gaps are truly open. In other words, this patient hasn't gotten a test done somewhere else in Florida or somewhere else that hasn't been recorded. Once that process was validated with a combination of humans and AI, we now had a list that was half the size. We then called patients, but not with humans, with medical conversations using large language models. And in engaging with patients, not only did we uncover the primary problem that they hadn't had a test done, but that very often they were able to engage better in understanding the importance of that test. We had a 70% phone call completion rate and a 90% scheduling success rate. We've never seen this before. This is a new emerging ability to engage with patients. I deal with payment and how payment interfaces with healthcare. When we look back in the 90s, even the 80s, it was the era of what was called managed care, very hated by patients. Why? Because the HMOs would dictate that you couldn't see this doctor and you could only see that doctor, you could only go to this place and you couldn't see that place. It was very abrasive and very largely unpopular. In the last decade, we've seen a decade where the way that payments were made, delivering on value, was great to demonstrate a very intensive model, an intensivist model applying lots of nurses and coordination, but having to increase the medical complexity documentation so that you get paid more. But the problem is the revenue generation has been a game just about coding, lots of medical coding, which I know in India there's a huge business that supports this from a back office perspective, but not tied to the actual improvement in the outcomes. And so costs are still run amok, and the quality of care still remains largely poor. This is also not a scalable model. Now think of value-based care 3.0, the age we're now moving into. That age is about patient engagement, where my employees or anyone's employees could make 5 or 7 phone calls an hour to help get a patient scheduled or coordinated care. We can make about 2,000 calls in an hour today and probably 40,000 calls by the end of 2025 in an hour. In Arabic, Korean, Chinese, Hindi, Tamil, English, Spanish, or any language. But the most important thing that addresses the governance issues is the human in the loop. So where we went was to do very low-level, low-risk, but highly scalable work. So as you guys think about the workshop over the next few days, I would ask you a couple of things. Follow the payment trail. Follow the biggest barriers to overcoming basic challenges in healthcare. And then, I think, recognize that like the birth of the internet, where we were in the DOS era, the Godot era, and somebody said, I'm going to try and sell books on the internet. And next thing you saw, the revolution of giant retail. The other said, let me coordinate and let me connect people. And we've seen the explosion of social media. Healthcare, too, is on the precipice of this incredible revolution because it's going to truly become the era of patient engagement. So with that, I feel very honored and privileged to be here with all of you and take back some of the learnings from here so that I can apply them into both caring for patients individually so that they have a better experience, but more importantly, helping improve the quality of care that we deliver in the most expensive healthcare system in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sanjay, for your interesting insights on the applications of AI in healthcare and also setting the tone again for our participants. It is now my honor to introduce our next speaker and also the coordinator of the program, Dr. Ram D. Sriram, Chief of the Software and System Division at NIST IPL and former MIT faculty. Dr. Sriram specializes in AI, machine learning, and bioinformatics. With nearly 300 publications and multiple awards, including NSF Presidential Young Investigator Award and IEEE Reliability Society Lifetime Achievement Award, his work has earned widespread recognition in engineering, computer science, and healthcare fields. Let us warmly welcome Dr. Sriram to share his insights and expertise.
Okay, thank you very much for the introduction, and thank you all. Honorable Jennifer Larson, distinguished guests, and distinguished audience. You are the most distinguished people here listening. Actually, first of all, you listen to us and you tell us what we should be doing next on this field. Again, it's been a very exciting few months right here trying to put this workshop together. It all kind of started around the January time frame when Professor Murthy came to the National Institute of Science and Technology and met with us and said, we got to do something together. Okay? So we didn't do anything for 3 months, and 3 months later he arranged a virtual meeting and said, why are we not doing anything together? So finally I met Krishna Mohan around the July time frame, and we said, we got to do something. And then he said, no, it's not only we got to do something, we got to have a vision of what we have to do something. Okay? And one of the things that we thought was AI and healthcare, as you've seen most of the distinguished speakers talking about it, is the next big thing. And healthcare, especially in the United States, as Sanjay has pointed out, healthcare is about $4 trillion industry out in the United States. Okay? At least it was a few years ago, might have changed now. And Indian GDP is around that period. Of course, you got to adjust for local GDP issues, but a large amount of money spent on that. But the question is, are people getting the right healthcare, the best healthcare in the world? So we think that the AI is going to democratize healthcare in a way, okay, where people in either poorer countries or the rich countries, they all will should have access, will have access to the best healthcare. And AI is, actually before that, I would like to point out I've been working in this area for 40 years. So I've seen the areas, and many of you might have been born or not born, it's a different story. But I've seen many ups and downs of the AI, and many waves of AI. And I'm going to talk about all these things later on, so I don't want to take too much of time because considering that we are almost at 11 o'clock. But what I would like to say is that we're all excited about where we are heading in this field. There are risks associated with it, as Dr. Nageshwar pointed out in terms of governance and ethics and those kinds of things. These are big problems. And in fact, in the United States, we have a presidential order for addressing those kinds of things. I mean, different countries it's kind of do it in different ways, but in the United States, we kind of we don't want to put any regulations on people, but we would like to suggest certain things so that people themselves are aware of the situation and they govern themselves. But in other countries, it's more like the governments are trying to regulate these things. So I think it's I believe that in terms of the future, it's very exciting, and lots of innovative things are going to happen, as you'll see through the entire workshop. And I'm going to give an overview of that later on, so I'm just going to stop at this stage and thank you all. And there was a lot of people around here who are involved in this workshop, and I request Professor Krishna Mohan to go next stage.
Thank you, Dr. Sriram, for your insights. As we come to an end to this ceremonial session, I invite again Professor C. Krishna Mohan to present the vote of thanks.
once again, good morning, esteemed dignitaries, honorable guests, and distinguished participants. As we bring this inaugural session of HAHT-IUS 2024, Harnessing AI for Healthcare Transformation, to a close, it is my privilege to extend our deepest gratitude to all who have contributed to making this momentous occasion a reality. First and foremost, I wish to express our deepest thanks to Dr. Sriram for conceptualizing this idea regarding the collaborative Indo-US workshop at, as he mentioned, it happened in Tirupati. So, under the blessings of Lord Venkateshwara. So, it was his vision and steadfast support that laid the foundation of this event. His dedication to fostering international collaborations and advancing the field of AI in healthcare has been an inspiration to all of us, and this workshop is testimony to his commitment. At the outset, I express our sincere appreciation to our Honorable Chief Guest, Ms. Jennifer Larson, US Consulate General in Hyderabad. Thank you, Madam. Your presence today reflects the commitment of both nations to fostering transformative advancements at the intersection of technology and healthcare. Your insights have underscored the strategic importance of leveraging artificial intelligence to address global health challenges, and your leadership inspires us to raise the occasion. Thank you so much. So we are profoundly grateful to our distinguished guests of honor, Dr. Nageshwar Reddy, Professor S.S. Aiyar, Professor Ramesh Jain, Professor Dr. Sanjay Damani, whose pioneering contributions exemplify how research and innovation can shape national and global priorities. Your perspective have set the stage for productive and impactful three days workshop. Thank you, sir. So I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to Dr. B.V.R. Mohan Reddy Garu, Chairman of the Board of Governors, IIT Hyderabad. His consistent support and encouragement to have been instrumental in making this event possible. We are truly grateful for his guidance and in creating an environment where impactful research and collaborations like this can thrive. A special thanks to our beloved director, Professor V.S. Murthy, IIT Hyderabad, Director IIT Hyderabad, for his unwavering support throughout the planning and execution of this workshop. His leadership and commitment to excellence have played a vital role in ensuring the success of this event. Professor Murthy's dedication to fostering innovation and collaboration has created a vibrant academic and research culture at IIT Hyderabad, and we are grateful for his encouragement in every step of the way. This event stands as a testament to IIT Hyderabad's leadership as a hub for cutting-edge research and technological excellence. As one of the India's premier institutions, IIT Hyderabad continues to lead the charge in AI and healthcare integration, providing a platform where innovation meets societal needs. Today's gathering is a proud milestone in this institute's mission to serve as a catalyst for national progress. To our organizers, faculty, dedicated staff, student volunteers, your meticulous planning and execution have ensured that this event upholds the highest standards. To our sponsors, there are many sponsors and partners. So a few of them are like BVR signed, CSR Foundation, and I have IIT Hyderabad campus. Your unwavering support has been critical in bringing this ambitious vision to life. We also extend our heartfelt thanks to the panelists, session chairs, and participants whose expertise and active engagement will drive the dialogue on how AI can revolutionize healthcare delivery. Your contributions are vital in shaping policies, solutions, and innovations that will impact millions. As we look ahead to the sessions and discussions over the next few days, let us remember that this is not just an academic exercise. It is a national imperative opportunity to ensure that benefits of AI-driven healthcare extend to every corner of our country and beyond that. Thank you, and let us move forward with a shared resolve to transform the future of healthcare driven by purpose, partnership, and the pioneering spirit of IIT Hyderabad. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Professor Mohan, for your invaluable efforts and spearheading this event and ensuring the success of the 3-day workshop. May I now request Professor Mohan again to present a token of appreciation to all our esteemed dignitaries on the dais.
Thank you. Sir, lookiye sir. Sir, look here. Sir, look here.
To commemorate this momentous occasion. Please give a big round of applause for it. Thank you everyone. This brings to the